Chicago. I knew Dad would yell something. I met Michael through a client and friend, and also a client and our friend of his and a business partner, Paul from down in Florida. Paul's got a bunch of restaurants, probably his hand in way too many, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And started work with you earlier in this year, and what really stood out to me why I wanted you to talk was that you're literally, you're the me of restaurants from a standpoint, I'm willing to do anything to get in front of people to make sure they know who we are. I think that's the most important thing is to talk about attention. And you take everything we take to heart and actually do it. So I guess tell them about who you are, where your restaurant is, and we'll dig into it.
Sure. My name's Michael Stadnicki, owner and operator of Taco Lulu. Had the concept for 2.5 years. I've been in the franchise industry for 22 years plus. I franchise restaurants around the country. I own a company called the Franchise Edge. So we franchise around 10 restaurants a year, but I've traveled as far as Bahrain and Dubai, India, working on a myriad of franchise programs around the world. So it's been a great opportunity for me to learn from the best of the best of the best of people that have grown their businesses. I've kind of worn all hats in the restaurant industry. I was the vice president of a franchise chain. I got them up to 65 units. I also bought a franchise of that chain. So I had operated that for 10 years. It was the worst thing for me ever to be a franchisee. I just wasn't that guy. I'm more the entrepreneurial guy. I'm more the creative guy. And all of a sudden, I bought something and I gave myself a job that I didn't want. It served its purpose at the time in selling franchises. So my goal in selling franchises for the brand that I became part of was to really walk the walk and talk the talk. So if you're going to buy a franchise from the brand I represented, who better to learn from than me? So I was not only per se your salesman, but I was your support person, and you would train directly in my store. So fast forward to the 10 years when my contract was done. I'd been away from that company for 5 years. I created Taco Lulu. So 59 days from the time I closed my door on a Friday, 59 days later, Taco Lulu was born. And 6 months thereafter, COVID struck. So it's been an interesting run in launching a brand new concept in Chicago. As I'm sure everyone has had their own challenges as it relates to COVID. Chicago had a bunch of issues. I mean, we had the close down of downtown Chicago, which was just unreal. It was an exodus of humanity. So I went from having 60,000 people and within 5 blocks of my restaurant to nobody. There was nobody. I made a commitment early on with my staff that I would keep my entire staff on. So hell or high water, I'm going to burn cash. I thought it was 2 weeks. We were told by our mayor this is going to be a 2-week shutdown. Fast forward probably now 16 months, I have my entire staff. So thankfully, I haven't had the labor shortage that a lot of people had. I've got a hole in my bank account to some degree, but the government through PPP lending and things like that have kind of bridged the gap. So that's a little bit about my background.
So I know the conversation came up about hiring, and this isn't the topic, but I would imagine that goodwill your employees, when they went back and told their friends, I'm not losing my job, I've got my job, he's kept us on for a month, 2 months, 3 months, where a lot of them probably got let go. It probably was a good recruiting tool.
It really was. I've been very blessed. I've had the same staff for over 8 years. So all of my team have been part of my team. Typically when we hire people on, I look to my team to bring new team members. So I trust their expertise, and we find people that are like-minded with us. So we keep that same energy kind of moving forward. So I've been really blessed in that regard. I'm only as good as my team. These are my recipes. This is my design. These are all the things. But my team's running the restaurant, and I'm sitting right here right now. So that's a testament to who they are.
So talk about marketing. So when I first met you, you talk about the table touch. And a lot of restaurateurs are stuck in their kitchen. They're stuck in the back office. I eat out. Anybody that knows me knows I eat out pretty much every day of the week for lunch, every day of the week for dinner. We don't cook. Our kitchen divorced us. And I'm always amazed that, just to get a laugh out of that one, no laugh. I'm always amazed, though, the number of restaurants we go to, that there's never an attempt by anybody to create a relationship or to take it to the next level. And the first time I met you, we're at the restaurant. We're getting ready to go to the Cubs game. Dad didn't know we were going to the Cubs game. We're sitting there hanging out. We're going to shoot a podcast episode. We had just shot America's Best Restaurants with you. And you're like, hold on a second, and you're taking free margarita samples to every table and talking to them. The next thing they're buying margaritas. So I guess first talk about why you're so hardcore with inside those four walls.
Yeah, customer engagement to me is one of the most important elements of what I can bring to the table. So, I need to be in my restaurant, or I try to be in my restaurant for my lunch service and my dinner service. I want to meet folks. What's been fun with your system is hearing the buy one, get one is usually a first-time customer. So now I'm given that opportunity to know a customer as a first-time customer and engage them. But I try to we have an open kitchen the way that, you don't see the kitchen on here. On the other side is an open kitchen. So all of my staff tries to engage customers with a hello, welcome to Taco Lulu. I think that's really important. But getting to know people, now, it's kind of shifted. Downtown is starting to reopen. I'm thankfully back. I dropped from in the mid $20,000 per week sales level to under $4,000 a week through COVID. And it took me a long, long time to even get to any level of sales. Now I'm actually near back to previous level sales. However, 80% of downtown still remains closed. So all of the offices around me that really I'm awaiting their return, but I've expanded the outreach of the restaurant by a few blocks. Probably 28 plus restaurants have shut down in that time. But as new faces are coming in, I personally keep attention to badges of where they're coming from, because I know, for example, Tyson is a block away, and they're starting to come back. CDW is another company that's near me. They're starting to come back. Kent Law students at the law school across from me, I have brand new freshmen. They've never been to Taco Lulu. So when I see these Kent Law students come in with their law books, that's an opportunity for me to introduce myself, tell them the little story. Lulu's my puppy. I hand out stickers. I hand out 500 stickers a week, every week, and it's fun. The students put them on their water bottles. They put them on their cell phones. They put them on their laptops, and it becomes the place to hang out. Have you had our margaritas? Oh, no, we haven't. There's 8 people at a table. I give a 2-ounce margarita, salted rim, in a blue Solo cup, just like you guys have there, and hand them out. And guess what? Happy hour's 4 to 6 p.m. I'd love to see you guys. And then that audience starts to become stickier and stickier. And I notice that they bring their friends, and then their friends bring their friends. So, everything I do is to try to engage the customer. Other things, I try to bring out, like this is something Matt developed. Sorry, it got crushed in my book bag. But I hand out about 400 to 500 of these a week all over town. Anywhere I go, I'm the face. Like you wear your orange shoes. People know you're. I'm walking in. I normally have a Taco Lulu shirt, and I'm walking in anywhere I can walk into, introduce myself. Hey, have you been to Taco Lulu? Nope, never been. Here's a flyer, or here's a menu. Lulu being on the cover is also like an immediate, they relax, they smile, they accepting something, your hand to them. I have Lulu Bucks, which is a fun, another marketing piece. I actually have Lulu on it looks like a real dollar bill, but it's $1 off your order. And no one says no to you handing them money. So I could actually be downtown. I found if I handed this to you downtown, you'd be like, no. Yeah. But if I went to say, hey, you'd grab the $1.
Oh, yeah.
And people, oh, Taco Lulu, it's a Lulu Buck. Or, my next message is to do $1 off a margarita, to let the margaritas be known. So to me, being the face of your restaurant, a challenge I've seen being in the franchise industry for so many years and working with so many concepts and training franchisors to train franchisees. Many franchisees and franchisors, for that matter, get stuck in their 4 walls. And that's a death sentence for your business because of the stress. You become a micromanager. You don't offset any of the responsibilities to your staff. And your staff, as you give them the tools and the authority, they really grow within the restaurant. My staff, it's not that they don't want me there, but they know I'm best served getting out and about. Yep. We had talked about catering, delivering catering orders. All of the tips on a delivery go to my staff. A lot of restaurant owners might say, I'm going to take this order because it's a $100 tip. Well, the staff busted their butt to make the order, and then you're pocketing the $100. That's not what I do. Everything we do is to generate, the income and the excitement for the staff. To that point, though, I kind of got off track. Easy Caters, one of the companies in Chicago that, they send you a lot of orders, but they're taking huge commissions from you. So I deliver those orders personally, and I meet that office person, because usually that office admin person orders catering for everything. And as you build that rapport, they get the Lulu stickers. Everyone that is in the catering, if it's individually wrapped, gets one of these QR codes. So I want them to know they can come into the restaurant. If they enjoyed that lunch, they're going to get a free burrito on us. You know, my goal in them coming to get a free burrito is the next offer is buy one, get one margarita. So now you've tried the food. I bring you in for that margarita. Next offer is free chips and queso. So now you're coming in for that free app, usually ordering food and ordering a margarita now. So I've gotten you in on your third visit. And then the fourth one is half-price buckets of beer. It's to kind of bring your friends. So it's been effective, kind of having that multi-tiered approach to marketing. But I think being the face of your business is most important. You know, Dwayne, what you had talked about in franchisees that are the most successful are the ones that are out there being part of the community. And it's really something that, as I've watched franchise companies grow and as they grow their franchisees, the best franchise companies that I've worked with teach their new franchise owners and existing franchise owners how to become that guy. You need to be that guy.
Yeah, we actually, I won't say the name of the restaurant, but we shot one of our America's Best Restaurants episodes in 4 or 5 states away, and the franchise owner left before we got there and assigned it to one of her low-level employees and said, hey, I'm scared of a camera. I'm going to have this employee. And I'm thinking, you know, you're going to, you got to get comfortable. Like that you're going to let that employee project who your business is? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I actually called the corporate office. I talked to the owner and said, hey, by the way, I just want to make you aware of this. He goes, Matt, it happens every week. He's like, I can't tell you how many things we've lined up for them. We've teed up a ball, given them an opportunity to be on the news, be on this. They find a way to get out of it. And I'm always cracking up over that because I'm like, man, that's your best opportunity to make an impression. And to me, the one thing, like I hear a lot of restaurants all the time say, hey, Matt, how do you know this stuff works? And I'm like, well, it works because I can tell you, I eat out. I'm literally, outside of shooting stuff, I'm at 20 restaurants a week. And with shooting, I'm at sometimes 70 to 80 restaurants a week. I watch. Nobody does it. I go to businesses. I go to retail companies. I deal with other businesses in the commercial world. 99% of them don't do any of the basics. And to me, the basics is what I watched my dad do. I remember when I was a kid, we would go to, we had Barleycorns one night. We'd go to Mike Fink's one night. We'd go to Greyhound Tavern one night. And I remember every time we went somewhere, we'd be walking to the table and we'd lose Dad. Where's he at? And he'd stop by and go, oh, is that the special? And the person would look up and go, no, that's the steak. Oh, hey, look familiar. Dwayne Platt. Oh, I'm so-and-so. Next week later, they're buying insurance from him.
People want to know restaurant owners. It's kind of funny, but what your dad was talking about, and what you were talking about with the person saying they knew the owner of the boat company, just that interaction you have with somebody, now they know you. So when they come to Taco Lulu, I engage with them. They're coming in. They're excited. Hey, how are you? I don't remember everyone's name. I'm pretty good with faces, but I make everyone feel like I know them. And it's wild though. In certain regards, like with the barcode, I can go to my local grocery store, hand out 10 of these, and then in my car as I'm sitting down, jump on my Facebook and actually see 8 out of the 10 people have signed on, and within the next couple of days, I could remember the faces because they've come to get the buy one, get one, and they brought a friend. So you're giving away that burrito. I know a big thing that with your system, and Doug and I talk a lot about it, is me being willing to give away things. I'm more than glad to give away a free burrito. Buy one, get one. I'm not giving it. I'm not losing. I'm yes, sir.
I would call that an investment, not a giveaway.
Yeah, it's not a giveaway to me. My goal, I'm confident of the quality of my food, and I just need to get it into someone's mouth to try it. Because once they've tried it, they're going to come back. You may get the one-off that was, traveling to Chicago and they got your Facebook ad and they come one and done. It's usually not the case.
Yep.
And now I'm even more excited in having your program as downtown repopulates, because now everyone's Facebook feeds are filling up with this opportunity, and I'm getting all these fresh faces. And you had the opportunity to come to the restaurant. I have this on every table. I have it on a full-size window posters. I have it on the front door. So when you walk into the front door, it's saying, join our VIP club, buy one, get one free. Most people are like, you're crazy. You're giving away buy one, get one free. It's not giving it away because we're getting the customer's information. The database is your friend. You know,
You got it in the bathrooms too.
in bathrooms, I mean, that's the you have the most focus of somebody. I've always been database driven, you know, prior to meeting Matt and the team with this system. You know, one of the biggest elements in growing my prior business was catering. Google advertising has been a game changer. You know, NextBite, I think that's probably a huge component of your business. If you type in Taco Lulu in Chicago, NextBite's concepts come up. I was busting his chops at the break, but I have a database of 5,500 sticky catering companies, catering customers, pardon me. So on a weekly basis, I'm sending out and engaging something fun, different offer, whether it be free cookies or $50 off of catering, and re-engaging customers. And it's really interesting. The orders, the wave of 5,500 emails goes out. It's usually a day or two, and then I just got an email this morning. Hey, it's Carrie. We haven't talked in a while. The office wants to order for 40 people. I'm going to pop in the order, and thanks for the $50 off. Awesome. Boom. I just got $1,000 in catering order from an email I sent on Friday. So it's just that database in every capacity is just bigger and bigger and bigger.
No, the one thing that impressed me too with you is you're willing to do what a lot of people aren't doing. Like you were on the sidewalk, like you were before we saw you. You had your stack of those in your pocket, and you saw a construction crew doing construction, and you went out and they're behind the orange barrels talking to them.
Yeah. It's to me with downtown. Well, that word, you know, David, we talk about pivot. We've all had to pivot. One of the pivots I had to make is the realization that office workers were not coming back, and infrastructure workers and other workers in the surrounding areas were what I had to rely on. So when I say infrastructure workers, it was building engineers, it was janitors. The building stayed open, just the office people weren't coming, but that office still was cleaned every week, and those were the people I had to rely on to get the word out, and I had to stretch a little further. You know, I have 60,000 people within 4 or 5 blocks, or I had it at the time I last checked of kind of the population and demographic densities. But when that vanished, I looked, we talked about having construction sites. If I see a new construction site going up in downtown Chicago, I'm there with samples. I've got 50 tacos with 50 flyers or 50 stickers, 50 menus, and I'm there giving them tacos, and it just immediately builds camaraderie with them, and I'll see the crews come in, and when they come in with their hard hats, guess what? Everyone gets a Taco Lulu sticker. And it's fun because these guys actually want to wear the Taco Lulu sticker, and they want, can I get 5 stickers for my friends? And then before you know it, you got all these guys with hard hats that are walking around on their job site, and they're jumping to different job sites. They're not all following each other to the same job site. So it just becomes a bigger and bigger thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing with regards to giving stuff away. I always tell any business, there's a difference between giving something away for free or giving a discount. You know, I went to a coffee shop. Actually, it happened, what is today? This was last Wednesday. I went into a coffee shop down the street in Union. I go to about twice a week. And I walked in, and she hands me my coffee. No, it was last Saturday before we went out to my daughter's football game. And she hands me my coffee. She's like, it's free of charge. You're good. I go, what do you mean? She goes, you come here all the time. You're a great customer. We appreciate it. Now, I don't expect to get a free coffee tomorrow or the next day or next day. But if I went in there and it was 10% off, always, you do get addicted, and that does erode your margins.
Sure.
But what I'm a proponent of, and I want to hear your feedback, and you kind of already said it, is that if you're getting something in exchange, like I had an operator the other day say, Matt, we don't give away food. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that if 100 customers walked in your business and openly said, hey, I'll give you my name, phone number, email, and birthday in exchange for a large fry, you wouldn't do it? Well, of course it is. It's the same thing.
Sure.
It's how your mindset. It's you're trading, you're bartering information.
Absolutely.
And the one stat that we've worked with, Cisco, and I'm speaking at Performance Food Group this Friday, the one stat we've come up with, and we've heard other research, is somewhere between 85 to 90% of people who walk in and out of every restaurant, the business owner does not know their information. That's scary as shit.
Sure.
Like, I know everybody here. I have your information. That's why you're here. And to me, that would be scary if I was a business that I'm relying and hoping that they come back next month. I think it all starts with data.
I think another thing that happened with COVID is one of the first things that were cut on the budget was marketing. Oh my God, we can't spend money on marketing. There's no money to market. That to me is the biggest mistake. Now I've doubled down and tripled down on marketing. I mean, not only am I doing your advertising, I've got a $2,000 a month budget on Google AdWords driving catering. You know, these giveaways to me, this is marketing dollars, and it just makes sense. But I'm also dialed in from the metric side, so the things that Dave talked about with prime costs. I mean, I'm so dialed in. That's what I focus on. I have my budgets developed. When I saw commodity prices moving, I was making adjustments to menus. But while I made adjustments to menu prices, I made adjustments to make the menu more fun, to make it more streamlined. So those are the things you have to be on, you know, as a business owner, working on the business. And you hear that over and over and over, but a lot of people just don't understand what working on the business versus working in the business is. And you know, that's really something that I focus on. And I think I've learned in being in the position I've been in and working with so many different franchise companies that it's been instilled in me.
Yeah, and it happened a lot in my business. Ashley worked for me 10 years this past June. The first 5 or 6 years, I was afraid of customers to know who she was. I wanted them to think Matt did everything. That was kind of my mind. Like, you hired me, and I would hand stuff off to her. And I remember, like, when I handed over, I think it was 2015, 16, I said, hey, I want you to start doing this. And she was brand new in some of these topics. And for me, I was kind of scared to hand things off.
When we first met, one of the first things you said is, I don't do that. Like, you got to talk to so-and-so. Like, I fired myself a long time ago.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, like right now, like, you don't deal with me.
No.
You know, I'm the owner of the company, but, you know, Tom's team does automation, Tanya's team does the content, Ashley's team, acquisition, and she runs all that. You know, even, you know, Doug and Luis deal with most of the clients.
Yeah.
And Scott. But the big thing for me, like you mentioned, is getting out of the business. I always took pride in that Matt Plapp did everything and was the person that was in charge of everything. And I can still physically do everything in there. But this past 6 months to a year, like there was a lady here last night that said, hey, did you guys just get really successful, really hardcore the past year, or like you always been? I said, we've always been successful. I said, I got the hell out of the way the last year. And I literally sit down, and I mean, there's days where 3, 4, 5 hours in a row I'm working on.
Sure.
I'm developing a concept that has nothing to do with what we're doing day to day.
And to me, I'm always talking about our team. So I try not to be, like, Lulu's the face of the restaurant as far as I'm concerned. Like, this is the owner.
What does she do?
Yeah, she's the mascot. No, but yeah, you know, but really, it's a focus on the team of passionate people that I have that work, you know, together with me in doing what we do. And I think that's one of the most important things that I couldn't do without my team. I couldn't be sitting here right now if I didn't have a team of my people that are taking care of business on a day-to-day basis. So,
What were you ever shy from a standpoint of getting out there and going up? Because I mean, a lot of businesses, no matter what industry you're in, it's uncomfortable to walk up to somebody.
yeah, it's funny. My dad was a Chicago policeman. He passed away 11 years ago, but my dad always put me out there. My dad was the kind of guy, like a funny story, you know, relating to a Cubs game. I remember sitting at a Cubs game with my dad and my brother to my right, and 2 beautiful women sitting to the left of me. And my dad was the kind of guy that would turn to the 2 beautiful women and say, my son just thinks you have the most beautiful hair and nails. And then he would just turn. And I would be stuck, like, I didn't say that. Like, but he did a great job of putting me in terribly uncomfortable situations constantly. But I have his personality, so I've been blessed. Dad gave me some great personality traits that make me that person. But you know, even if you don't have that outbound personality, there's still things you can do as a restaurant owner to get yourself out there. You know, you might not be that type of person, but it's really just engagement. It really is engagement.
I did that to my son. He laughs at it now. He doesn't fall for it. But a couple years ago he did. We'd be somewhere, because he's a bigger kid. He's like my height, 250 pounds. He loves lifting and all that stuff. And we'd be somewhere like, some giant guy would walk up and say, this is the guy you said you could knock out? And he'd be like, this guy's like, what? I'm like, that's the guy Cole. Cole's like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything to this guy. Same thing.
Yeah.
I think that in businesses, a lot of times people, I mean, most entrepreneurs are the face, but
Sure.
they also don't want, you know, there's other ways you can make the face, like you've made your dog the face. And
Sure.
what sticks out to me is that I don't think I've ever seen I mean, Steve Kane had cola around the vacuum shop all the time, but I don't think I've ever seen a business that I know of that's made the dog their mascot. Dad had a train for his mascot, I guess you could call it. What drove that? Was that always from day one? I mean,
So that's kind of a funny story. As I was developing the brand, I kind of had a vision of the font style. I had a kind of a vision of the name, but I had gone through it. I was going to go Scratch Tacos. Part of the challenge was finding a name that you can own the .com and be able to trademark. So as I went through, I owned ScratchTacos.com, but Scratch Tacos wasn't it. I own La Jefa Tacos.com. That wasn't it. And interestingly, my neighbor had said just prior to closing Al's Beef, he said, "You've ever considered getting a dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to have a dog, but having the restaurant, it'd just be impossible." So I had gotten my dog at the exact same time I was in the process of naming the restaurant, like literally at the exact same time. And I was going to name her Pickles. That was my grandma's dog. And then I loved the name Lulu. And then it like an epiphany just hit me, like Taco Lulu. And I remember I was sitting having a beer, and I went tacolulu.com on GoDaddy. It was open, and that was it. I was off to the races. And then interestingly, that night I was looking up cartoons, like Mexican or Spanish cartoons, and there's a old comic book called Little Lulu. And it actually matched the vision that I had in my head prior of the font. So it all just kind of like, if you look at a Little Lulu comic book from the 1950s, that's exactly, not exactly, but very similar to the font. So like it was meant to be. To me, it was meant to be.
And I think too, from the marketing standpoint, everything looks the same. I remember one time when I was selling for WGR back in the 1990s, I got to meet with the president of the Ohio Lottery. And oddly enough, I got to meet with him because I was an Eagle Scout. I was in his office. There's 100 sales reps in the hallway. And you got to go in and shake his hand and say hi. And I walked in, and my dad always said, "Observe." And I saw his son an Eagle Scout. I said, "Oh, is your son an Eagle Scout?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, so am I." And next thing I know, we're in there for an hour. And we're talking, and he's giving me all these marketing lessons. Meanwhile, they're pounding on the door like, "You got to come out." He's like, "He's good." But he had told me, he said, back then, he said, the Ohio Lottery, some of the things we did differently was we were the first ones to do like neon colors. Because you go down a street, everybody's signs are identical. Everybody's logos look the same. Every sign is red, blue, or black.
Yeah.
And he's like, they went with neons and different colors. And
I added her, so she was like the namesake, but during COVID, so I bounce ideas off friends and family, and originally I had designed her into the logo, and then people say, you serve tacos, people are gonna think you're serving dog meat. I'm like, really? So I pulled her off of the design.
I thought I had dog tacos. Damn it!
The day I opened Taco Lulu, I'm so excited. Like 59 days, literally 59 days to change a concept completely with websites and recipes and having recipe cards and all that developed. The whole place is jam-packed, and I bring Lulu in, and I'm walking across tables. "Hey guys, this is Lulu." So we got our first Google review, 1 star. The owner brought in his dog and was scratching his dog in front of like everybody and like above their tacos. I'm like, really? So yeah, like literally, so I had pulled away from her in the advertising, and then during COVID, I said, it's just I'm missing something with the brand looked great prior, but it looked more like an authentic taqueria. And I'm proud of what my team have designed from the menu perspective. But if you pull her out, it's good, but it's not great. Having that, it just makes people smile. So when I'm handing out the stickers, I'm handing out the flyers, I'm handing out the menus, I'm handing out the Lulu Bucks, there's something to talk about. And I usually have a couple pictures of her in my phone. Like, "Oh my God, is the restaurant named after Lulu?" "Oh yeah," and like, "This was Lulu this morning." And it's a laugh, a giggle, and when they come to the restaurant, "Oh, where's Lulu? I want to meet Lulu." So it's been fun to build around that kind of creative energy, and it's kind of endless what we can do with it now in kind of building the brand and doing different things.
So let me ask you a question. I'll put you on the spot. When you are at a hospital or you're somewhere and you're telling them this, are you having them scan it while you're there, or are you saying scan this later, or what?
A little bit of both. I usually let them know if you scan this, you can join on Facebook and become part of our VIP club. Buy one, get one burritos, buy one, get one margaritas. I found in certain circumstances when I had presented this and I waited for the person to scan, it became a little awkward,
okay,
as if I was almost pushing someone. And I had some people would actually pull back, but if I left it with them and they look at it, and a lot of people, they're not actually familiar with QR codes. So
still?
Yeah, still. So you might embarrass somebody. They're not familiar with the QR code. So I leave it with them. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about, the sticker company I'm working with, it's a sticker app I found on Facebook. They do double-sided stickers. So not only do you have the message on the front of the sticker, right? So this is the sticker.
Yeah.
You have the ability to print the message on the back of the sticker. Then you have the ability, when you peel the sticker, to have a third message, which when you think about it, that can be powerful. So that I stopped printing these because my next design is to have a Lulu sticker with Lulu. So you're getting a sticker. I'm giving you a sticker. On the back, maybe information about Taco Lulu. But when you peel it, then you're getting the buy one, get one offer. So now I've given somebody a little gift. I've given them a message, and now I've given them the engagement when they pull the sticker. Like if you, they had an example of a lizard.
So you're ABR in a sticker.
ABR,
Attract, build, retain.
Yeah, it really is. And so that to me is the best of all worlds. So that's why I've got one crummy one left, because I stopped production and I wanted to get some feedback from you guys of like what the message should be. And the sticker could be, you know, the border itself can be, you know, a couple inches and the sticker just be in the center of it. But that to me is an exciting one, because now you're getting that triple bang. That you're giving that sticker as the leave behind, you're giving the message on the back, and when they peel it, all of a sudden now there's like a little surprise. It may be a buy one, get one. It may be something free. I was thinking maybe free chips and queso or free chips and salsa. But some people, it's funny because as I've handed out stickers, like, do I get something? Like you got the sticker, but but I wanted to, yeah, you'll actually get something, and I can, you know, mention it, and then everyone grabs at them. It's just fun when you bring something like that. People grab it.
Yeah.
That's another one I thought about, you know, tattoos for kids. Yeah, that's kind of the next reiteration. I added her on the building. When you had come to the building itself, I added, matter of fact, you guys can probably see from here. I added that. My big message that I wanted to drive home, during the pandemic, I was able to get my liquor license. So it had taken 14 months to get the liquor license with Chicago's, you know, going through City Hall and things like that. But margaritas and ice cold beer are really a focus as downtown reopens. So that's been a big push, and catering's been the big push. So, you know, in-store traffic, I'm doing the best I can to drive as much in-store traffic, but I'm limited with downtown being 80% closed. So I've had to find the other opportunities to market. And catering, I could have more of an outreach from the people that may only walk 4 or 5 blocks downtown. I'm only going to get so many of those people, but the caterings I can push a little further out, and then that drives the online ordering aspect, and your Uber Eats and your Grubhub and your DoorDash. You know, converting, that's I think another big one that we should talk about. Yeah. Is when you get that Uber Eats order, how do you convert them to order directly? Interestingly,
Did I tell you my story how that happened with me? So everybody's heard of Max Pizza Pub. And me and Doug, I don't know if Doug's in here, we were still going downtown. We had our office over the Rhine during the pandemic. And where we were at it near Ziegler Park, no restaurants were open. There was nothing within 5 or 6 blocks. So we're sitting like, what do we eat? So we got on Uber Eats, and I ordered from Max Pizza Pub. And I had not even thought of them because they're over in Covington, and I think they one in Clifton, but the one that came from us was Covington. And so we ordered it, like, cool, pizza. We got pizza and wings. And it comes in, and we open the bag up, and there's a handwritten post-it note. Thanks for your order, Matt. By the way, we deliver free if you order directly from us.
Yep.
And I was like, awesome. Like, we ordered at that point, I think we did every Wednesday for 3 months after that. That was our Wednesday go-to meal directly from them, because they asked and gave us an opportunity to order from them.
Yeah. I've recently, I switched to Toast, so now I have absolute control of my online ordering platform. So I have one dedicated place I can make changes to the menu with pictures and prices. They allow the ability to upcharge Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash orders. So I've added 20% onto those orders. So if you order $10 worth of food through Grubhub, you're paying $12. But now I affix an advertisement that says order direct, support our business, save 20%. So you're getting the eyeballs, because you need the eyeballs on Grubhub and Uber Eats and DoorDash to drive your online business. But to retain, a lot of people are more than glad to save 20% and switch to you. Interesting though, since the prices have raised, it seems like order volume has gone up even more. So like, it was one of those things of, like in Dave's book, being afraid to raise your prices. It's a mental thing, like, geez, if I raise my price, I'm gonna lose customers. Since I've done it, order volume has skyrocketed. And I think it's multifaceted though, because Toast does such a good job in having the food photography. I did a really good job of having great descriptions of the food items. I think those are things that if you are doing online ordering, make sure you're doing a good job of having great pictures that food photography sells, having great descriptions of your food. You know, don't just have steak taco with onions and cilantro. You know, I serve delicious char-grilled skirt steak, served with your choice of this, and that, and then the visual cue and having the pictures as well.
Well, especially with people going online now. You know,
yeah, you're competing with everybody.
When we travel with America's Best Restaurants, one of the things we do is we shoot a lot of content. And the restaurants get a chance to get some of that content. One of my comments is like, use this on your website. Like, somebody sees this burger, they see a 5-second video of it, they see it coming off the flame, they see it on a bun. I mean, it's not hard and it's not expensive. I mean, this iPhone, the camera quality on the new iPhone is stupid. Like the quality is unbelievable. I was trying to import a picture from my iPhone today into a software, and I had to dumb it down.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's comical that it's that high resolution, and even to just take it and do a nice pan. I mean,
Yeah, the pan, and it's so simple to add the cute little emojis and Taco Tuesday flashing or with a cute song. Facebook has really made it easy to put those Facebook stories, Facebook Live, all of that. Yeah.
The one thing you mentioned also, which one you talked about, TJ Shire's a guy who owns a Witch out in Texas. He used to own a bunch of them. He's getting out of the business, but he was telling me one of the things he did really well was he always noticed name badges. He's like, Matt, we got a huge order one time from a hospital that we had talked to for years about catering. We never got in there. Lady comes through the drive-thru. He's like, he had a witch for the drive-thru, and he said he happened to look, saw her badge. What do you do there? She's like, oh, I do this, this, and this. And you like witch? Oh, I love it. I'd love to bring it to your office free of charge.
Sure.
Can I bring you and the staff? Yeah. And so literally, he's like, that's the way we ended up getting hundreds of orders because I noticed her name badge and went a little farther, got her information, called her the next day, took a catering order in, and next thing you know, we're catering the whole hospital.
Yeah, that kind of falls into the four walls marketing, and that's something that I have used to successfully push the program that we're working on together along with catering. So I try to use those four walls as the opportunity to message. Catering has been a huge part of the business growth. For example, like today I have $1,000 in catering orders just for tomorrow. That $1,000 in catering orders, when you talk about the change in labor, I'm operating a 19.5% labor. I'm lean, those catering orders. But you're right, to that end, my personal engagement, for example, when I saw the name tag with the Tyson Foods, oh, you work for Tyson Foods, you guys are back? And that would be my discussion. Who would I talk to? I've been trying to figure out who to talk to about catering. Most office people know, oh, that's Charlene. Charlene handles all the catering orders. Well, can you bring this to Charlene? I'll throw a couple of catering menus in with a meal. Like, this is our individually packaged fajita dinner. Throw the sticker on, throw the menu on, throw the couple of the coupons on. And she's going back with pride, like with excitement that Charlene's getting this meal from Taco Lulu. And I don't know Charlene from Tyson Foods because she's the new girl that handles office catering. And before you know it, I see the order, Tyson Foods, Charlene. That's the engagement that you need. I call my catering customers. That's the one thing I try to do every day is at 3 o'clock. So they've had the time the food's been delivered 11:30, 12. They've had their office meeting at 3 o'clock. I make it part of my day to call that catering customer. Hey, it's Mike Taco Lulu, just checking how was everything. Oh, it was awesome. Or if there was a problem, now I have the opportunity to fix it then and there and make it right for the next order. So that customer engagement is really, really important. But it all, again, flows back to building the relationships, building the databases. I'm excited to be building the database with your company. Toast has their own database, which I want to talk to you guys. Luis, Doug, and I have talked about it just to see how we can layer that retention side to what is coming to the table through Toast, along with your program, along with the catering. So collectively, I have about 8,000 email addresses and phone numbers that I'm working with, and it's been powerful.
So along the lines of upselling, one thing, I'll go back to that in a minute, but you're talking about giving things out. When I sold radio, I actually made a lot of money selling radio advertising because I handed out donuts from Krispy Kreme. I became friends with the guy. Krispy Kreme back in the late 90s, early 2000s got big around here. I think they went public and they opened up like 10 stores here and they all went closed a couple years later. But I became friends with the regional manager of Krispy Kreme. And for my world, I wanted to create a relationship with business owners. And if I stopped by Tom Gill Chevrolet, I could never always see Tom Gill. And I a lot of times couldn't remember when the hell Tom was actually going to be there. But I realized that gatekeeper was the opportunity. And so I reached out to the guy from Krispy Kreme and said, hey, I've got a two-pronged approach. You want to get your donuts in places. I want to get my butt in places. And so every morning I traded out donuts. I would take 10 dozen donuts around the town. And I would